So to make it clear for you shits, I generally think that all factions are well balanced. That said, how or why are Terrans OP according to me or internet? Well, let's start with a weapon that tons of people have complained about, the Gatekeeper. Really, this weapon is no doubt powerful when it comes to killing vehicles, and much like other explosive weapons, it can be well used against infantry. The only competition for this weapon really is Saran, which is precision weapon against vehicles, and it doesn't really have that much AoE damage. Then we have Enforcer, slightly better weapon, but still lacking in infantry killing aspect. So no wonder Gatekeeper is OP. Anyways, moving on, we have Empire-specific heavy weapon, or better known as chain gun. While it is inherently supposed to be inaccurate, people still tend to use it quite well on mid-ranges. And adding quite a good damage makes chain gun into quite a beast, so no wonder people call it OP. On closer quarters it perhaps loses to shotguns, but really this weapon is one that comes close to being just as effective. Alright, next we have my favorite OP weapon on this list, Repeater. Really, this is the best pistol in the whole game. Not to mention that it is default for any Terran. Well, reasons for it to be OP are quite simple. Besides already mentioned default property that it is for free for everyone, it's extremely easy to use and its 3-round burst can be turned into fully automatic weapon anytime. Plus, of course, it has the highest DPS, so obviously the more damage you deal, the better it is. Alright, moving on. Call me stingy or whatever, but Claymore in comparison to other 2 proxy mines is OP. Although it has more of a directional damage, it still deals about 20% more damage, and when you use proxy mines like most does, i.e. running into crowd and dispensing them, it doesn't really matter if you have directional blast or not. More damage will still kill more people. Also, it's hardest to spot. I mean, we don't need to bring back those 2 green lasers for claymores that stood out like sore thumbs. It'd be sufficient if we could spot claymores a little bit better, or alternatively, make the rest of them less noticeable. Okay, now we're getting into some interesting stuff here. Pounders are probably the best anti-everything weapon for max. They are great against infantry and decent against vehicles. And adding the bonus that they are somewhat cheap makes them into quite a big deal. So in short, their versatility, damage and price does make them OP. Okay, next we have basically another anti-vehicular masterpiece. Fractures. While these weapons are shit against infantry, they are quite brilliant at sniping vehicles from distance, and combining that with Terran Max lockdown ability, they become quite a threat for anything big moving towards the base. And here's the thing, what alternatives other factions have to this? For NC, it's Ravens or Falcons. Well, one of them doesn't have that much of a damage, other one is slow and has drop like no other. Then Vanu has Vortexes which shine only on long range, and Comets that are better on close range but still lack the muzzle velocity to be effective, as well as damage. So yeah, fractures do stand out to be the best max anti-vehicular weapon indeed. And finally we come to the most obvious OP case in Terran arsenal, Mosquito. There are of course people arguing that it's no different between factions, but understand this. As a noob pilot or whatever really, it matters even if your vehicle can turn or move a little bit better, or it's faster or easier to turn. Mosquito in this case has a big difference when it comes to maneuvering, and no wonder all those tryhard pilots fly Terran colors, not NC or VS. But yeah, that's about it on Terrans. There are minor OP cases in Terran arsenal, but I left them out as they were not much to talk about anyways. But all that aside, I wonder what you think are the most OP or UP cases in Terran arsenal, that is underpowered or overpowered.